The picture 10 euro, very nice. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nugget. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nugget. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nugget. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice.
I met a man selling sunglasses on the side of the street at a very good price. And when I put them on, I felt very good, very nice. I said, a sunglasses man, I need a little bit of your advice. Do I look good? He said, a chicken nugget, you look good, very nice.
Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nuggets.
That was fun.
You like that?
I did. I like that.
You like chicken nuggets?
I love chicken nuggets, but I like real chicken nuggets, not that processed stuff you get at McDonald's or whatever the hell it is. Whatever
Where do you
chicken
get
parts
chicken?
it actually
Where do
is.
you get real chicken nuggets at?
You can get people actually know how to make them from real chicken and actually make them. I've had people make them for me. I will confess I've had the frozen grocery store chicken.
Oh, you know they have.
nuggets.
I think they have good ones at Trader Joe's.
Do they? That wouldn't
so, yeah.
surprise me. Yeah. But I remember that documentary Super Size Me Morgan Spurlock did about 20 years ago. I have never set foot in a McDonald's since I saw that. It's literally poison, that food. And but they were talking about all the chicken parts that actually go into those nuggets. Like ground up feet and beaks and
Are you serious?
As I recall, yeah, it was pretty gross. It was enough to not make me want to ever eat that again.
Wow. You know, I never got into the chicken nuggets. I always eat the Big Mac. That was my thing. The Big Mac, the French fries, and the fish witch.
Yeah.
Love that fish witch.
Well, you know, when I was a kid in college one summer, I worked in a Burger King.
Oh, I think I worked in Burger King too.
Did you
Yeah.
work in Burger King? Did they make you wear the paper hat and that ugly brown?
I think I just didn't show up back to work. I think that's what happened after 2-3 weeks.
Oh, it was
better things to do with my time. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember having to scrape chewing gum off the bottoms of tables, and mop floors, and I was not
Oh
a happy
my
camper.
God, what a horrible job.
It
Anyway,
was. It makes you appreciate what we have now. Yeah.
so how have you been? How have you been?
Wh-
This week has been crazy with all of the Trump stuff. We'll probably get into that. And
Well, we usually do. Yeah, but it's just been a crazy week in general. We're in the height of the Mercury retrograde right now, but we were talking before the show. You and I both have been incredibly busy this week. We've been very blessed to do readings for people, and
been busy.
and I've been working on my artwork and writing and other projects, doing
How do you
these
do
two
it
shows
all?
with you. Well, I don't
He
know.
works for me. He does my scheduling. He's also doing his own personal readings. He's also a professional artist. So you're doing that.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep your house. Do you keep your house clean in the middle of that?
No. That's you're seeing a part of my house that's hiding a multitude of sins. If I were to flip this camera around, you'd be like, ah! No, something has to slide, something has to go. So I need to do a housework day very soon.
I know.
But
We finally have a day off and we use it to clean.
But you know what? I'm doing things that I love.
Yes.
You are too. And I think when you do things that you love, that's like rocket fuel. That propels you.
Yes.
It's joyous, but it is exhausting at the same time. It takes a lot of energy. A lot of people don't realize how much energy it takes just to do a reading for someone, to be channeling. Yeah. We talked about that. When I do my artwork, I am definitely channeling, writing. It does take energy, and I never have been able to quite master that yet. Like it should be exhilarating us.
I think, it's like you work so hard to become a doctor or a physician's assistant. And it's like you work so hard and then it's like, okay, great. Now you got all this work. It's like, I worked this hard to work this hard. Wait a minute. But it is rewarding work.
But we love what we do. And I just know, because I've been doing more readings than usual, and I know you feel this way also, I really love working with people. I love being a vessel for people, if any way I can be of service. And that's the way I always approach it.
And I think that those are the best readers, the readers that really want to alleviate suffering. I know you want to alleviate suffering in all your clients, and I certainly want to with my clients.
Yeah. And I think you and I both are believers in being humble and just putting ourselves to the side. We are a vessel for the information to come through. Mm-hmm. Or at least I'm speaking for myself anyway. I'm sure that's true for you also. And looking for my copy of my book here.
Yes, I wanted to announce that we have a date. Newt Debney Shaw. She will be in our studios August 12th at 6 p.m. for her interview for those people who are part of our Book of the Month club. We are reading How the Tin Man Found His Brain, One Attorney's Path for Perceptual Development. How are you liking it? It's pretty intense, isn't it?
It sure is. In between everything else I'm working on, I steal time to read a little bit of this.
For 15 minutes before I go to bed. That kind of helps me wind down.
Maybe it's my ADHD. I tend to go from project to project to project to project. I'm all over the place. Yeah, but it works,
And what are you taking away from it? What's the main thing you're taking? I think it's froze.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you froze for a second.
Did I freeze for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay. God, I'm hot here. I'm sweating. I'm surprised I froze. But no, but so far it's just like what you said. It is very much like the famous Conversations with God book that came out in the 80s or the 90s?
90s.
The 90s. It's new ways of looking at that type of thinking. It's revisionist. It's someone channeling in their own way, taking their own messages here. And there's just so much in here about, it's thought provoking. It makes you look at yourself. Maybe, we talked about this last time. There are things in here that might make you feel a little uncomfortable, maybe stir you, but that's where I think the greatest gifts are.
Well, I think there's more shadow work here. She gets deeper than Conversations with God. Like this, there are parts that are going to make you uncomfortable. Yeah. But I think that that's important to spiritual growth, is that
I think so too.
We go to those places.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, who do we have with us?
Who do we have here? Let me scroll back up here. Okay, I started to say we have StreamYard. Duh. That's not one of our viewers. That's our vehicle for doing the show. We have Tori. We have Anne, we have Gretchen, Renee, Intuitive Kathy, Barb Young, Christy Price, Rex, Brina, 1971, Vivian Rivers, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Darlene Shell. I hope I said your name right. Forgive me if I didn't. Our wonderful Wendy Bird, who made your fabulous hat, which you're not wearing today. You're wearing a pretty headband, but
I was wearing a headband today.
yeah. Let's see, Kimberly, Renee. Never too late to dream. Boy, do I agree with that philosophy there. Stephenson, Fran, Claire.
Yes, Fran's one of our authors.
Oh, yes, of course. Let's see here. Geocosmic Valentine.
Is that you getting
that is me. I am so sorry. Let me turn that off. Forgive me.
That's okay.
I always do a check of everything before we do our show. Today I forgot to turn the phone off. I'm sorry. Sky Charm, Judith, Gloria, Amy, wonderful people here as always. We get so many fabulous.
Yeah, we'll continue
people.
to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, we will.
So let's get into it. It looks like Donald Trump is having a meltdown.
Another one?
Well, the thing that's coming out now is that it's more than likely it was Ghislaine Maxwell that leaked information.
And
well,
she's playing hardball right now. I get the feeling like she's definitely messing with him, playing chess with him, so to speak.
You know what I think is really weird is that nobody is questioning his wife about Epstein, which she clearly knew.
Yeah. Isn't it rumored that that's how they met, through Epstein?
Well, there's certainly pictures of her cozying up to I'm sorry, my cat Mila wants to be let outside. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. But yeah, I've definitely seen those photos of them looking like very cozy, intimate friends. But I've seen different accounts. It's hard to know when you see all this stuff floating around in the internet. But there are stories that they met through Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know what you've heard about that, Whimsy.
Well, it's just, if I was a MAGA person and I saw those pictures of her flirting with her head back, flirting with Epstein, I would want to know what the heck is going on. And I would want to know why the first lady is sitting there flirting with a man that rapes children.
Yeah.
That would be just strange for me. I wouldn't understand what any of that was about.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit weird. And this was an interview.
Yeah.
I won't show it, but this is just some of what's starting to come out. The other question is, where is the stuff that was inside the safe? Because according to, what was his name? Wolp, the person who wrote the book that was the expose. I'm
not sure.
That he had seen pictures of Trump with underage girls, that Epstein had shown him those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the FBI took everything. So clearly, if Epstein had those pictures, where are they? And why is our intelligence, who are we? We pay taxes.
Yeah.
We pay taxes for this stuff. Where the hell are you know what? I'm very angry as a US taxpayer that I'm being gaslit by my government, and my government is aiding and abetting in a cover-up of a pedophile ring that's linked to the 45th and 47th president of the United States, and that the first lady is in it too. Who are these people?
Well, yeah. It's just this feeling like our whole government is being run by gangsters right now.
Go ahead, please.
But I was just going to say, you were asking who has these pictures, who has this video, this material. When I was just doing a little bit of light research today, reading over news stories and so forth, and I was reading Heather Cox Richardson, and she was mentioning about There's, they tried to release this video that supposedly proves that Epstein did commit suicide in prison. Then it was found that it was actually a spliced together video and there was missing elements. And she was saying that the FBI, the Bureau of Prisons, and the DOJ Inspector General all possess this material, the full material, all the videos and pictures and so forth.
Yeah. So I don't,
Yeah.
So what do? We stop paying our taxes and tell them to kiss off because they clearly don't care about us, and they clearly are withholding information. This, I believe, is his home on the island, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? I didn't know. I was going to ask you
Look at
about
there's
that.
the massage area. Is that the massage? That's disgusting. Is that a piece of artwork? Or no, that's a piece of artwork.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Can't really tell. I mean, I was going to say our government has always withheld information from us. Like I've talked numerous times, like remember when I did the pendulum reading, are we going to get to read the Epstein files? Will they be released? And I got a no. And then it was more like, well, we might get one of those censored things where they take a black magic marker and cross out lines. That's always gone on, like even material going back to the assassination of John Kennedy, files on Martin Luther King. So that's always gone on, but we've just to have something this corrupt and being withheld from us. I mean, it's like, how much are we being protected from, and how much is just to protect certain individuals?
Yeah, I mean, why are U.S. intelligence agencies aiding and abetting somebody who's in the middle of this? If these people had immunity in 2004, 2005, then that means that the feds knew that Trump was going to these, or it's disgusting. I'm just completely disgusted. I'm completely disgusted.
Levels, yes. The more I go into it, like I mentioned on the Tuesday show, I had just started reading more about Ghislaine Maxwell, and the more I learn about her, the more repulsed I am. I'm still trying to find out more about her personal life, her background, because I made the comment Tuesday, what creates that kind of deficit in your soul, that blackness in your heart to destroy lives, to destroy children like that? I was looking for any kind of clues, and I'm not finding that much other than Wikipedia made a mention that she was daddy's favorite girl, and there was even a reference that when she was in the relationship with Epstein that she looked to him as a father figure. I don't know if there's connections there. I looked for any kind of tragedy, trauma. I saw that she had a brother. She had an older brother who was I believe in a car accident 2 days after she was born, and he died soon afterwards. That would be traumatic for any kid to go through. I'm trying to see what could be motivating her actions. I'm just intrigued by that.
Don't you think that she was somebody who clearly wanted to hang out with the aristocrats and the wealthy? She was
opportunist.
Somebody who, well, she was more than that. It was good old fashioned kind of it was, which is sad, this kind of classism where some people are more equal than others.
Right. That aristocracy, that aristocratic attitude. I think that's what you were.
Yeah, they weren't people; they were pieces of meat to use and discard. She had no respect. She had outright disdain for these children.
Yes.
She was raping because through no fault of their own, they were abused children. And I find that in the New Age, in the spiritual community a lot, if you really want to call it spiritual, where they will often blame victims of childhood abuse and say, well, it has something to do with a previous lifetime, which is complete bullshit. I never bought into any of that. Mm-hmm. Thank God. I just find that so offensive that somebody would have those things happen to them and nobody wants to take responsibility. And instead they put the onus on the child. And that's exactly who Ghislaine Maxwell was. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also really hard for us to come to terms with the fact that women can be psychopaths, and she clearly is a psychopath. Manipulating the empath. She's not someone we need to be feeling sorry for.
As we said the other day, when you say at least 95% of the time we talk about this, it's men abusing children sexually like this, so forth. This is the rare time where it's a woman, and she's every bit as bad, if not worse, just from the little I have found thus far. And something else that struck me about her, she's well educated. She has, I think, tri-citizenship, American, British, and French citizenship.
Yes.
I think she went to Cambridge University. This is a woman who could have very much forged her own path, her own trail, built a big life for herself. Why did she feel a need to go in this direction?
It's also interesting that Jean-Luc committed suicide in France.
Yeah.
The French Epstein, and that Epstein was coming back from France, and Ghislaine had a home in France.
Mm-hmm.
And when I've done remote views with Ghislaine, she said that she was the one that helped hand him over to the feds. So she was the one, when he was in France, telling him that he could go back to the States and that he was not going to be arrested.
Yeah. Well,
so she claimed that so come on, you got to help me out. I helped get this guy arrested. Yeah. That's what she claimed in the remote, whether it's true or not. But the fact that he was coming in on his flight from France, the fact the other guy committed suicide in France, the fact that she wants to go back to France, just to me, it's just a further link between her and these creepy guys.
Yeah. Well, also, did you know if in France, French citizens cannot be extradited to another country? I saw that today. So I don't know if that would be a motivation for her wanting to go back to France.
That makes a lot of sense. And that would explain why Roman Polanski wasn't extradited.
Yeah, I never thought of that. You're right.
Yeah. Now, and I was just the whole thing with the first lady that really creeped me out. Like Melania Trump's, and did you know that they're showing all these nude pictures? I think you were telling me on Russian television.
Oh yeah. Well, the nude pictures of Melania Trump have been on the internet for many years. That's an open secret right there, her nude modeling days. But I think it's, on Russian television. I don't know if they're still doing this, but for a while they were flaunting those nude pictures of Melania Trump on their nightly news. It was almost like a little FU to Trump himself. Look what we have on your wife. Look what a slutty whore your wife is, or whatever it is they're trying to imply.
Well, that's the question also. The question is, why are these pictures of her? She's flirting with Epstein. Did she sleep with both of them? Is that the joke? Because supposedly there was some woman that they both had slept with.
Yeah.
And look at this. I mean, she's like rubbing up against Epstein.
Well, she's an opportunist also. She always has been. I've always felt that about Melania Trump.
So, I mean, like, why aren't the Trumpsters demanding an explanation for this? Because this looks pretty damn weird to me.
Well, it does. But the only thing I can think of when you say, why aren't the quote unquote Trumpsters demanding this? It's like the Trumpsters continually give him a free pass. They've been doing this for years, going back to the 2016 election, when 3 weeks before the election, he announced that he liked to grab women by their, I'm going to put it politely, by their genitalia. We know what he actually said. Things like that would have sunk any other president. His supporters just go along with anything. Maybe this is going to be the final straw. Pictures do come out at direct evidence of him being with underage women. But then again, they've been so conditioned by Fox News and so forth. Maybe they'll say, oh, that's artificial intelligence or something. That's Photoshop. That's not real. That's the way these people seem to be. And I know that because I communicate with Trump supporters back in my home area. I know they're thinking.
Well, that don't make it right.
Well, no, it don't. No, it don't. It used to be, oh, let's just agree to disagree. It's kind of getting hard.
Jay says that Russian oligarchs retire in France.
Really? Is that because of they can't be extradited? Is that why? But I thought it was just French citizens.
I know that France and Russia have an old relationship. For example, Russian aristocrats who studied dance in France ballet was developed in France, and then another form of ballet was developed in Russia. You have Baryshnikov, Nureyev.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was the split between the two schools of dance of ballet was the Russian school, which is more athletic.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen how far Nureyev could leap?
Yes. Oh my God! It was
it's from the circus training. I think
it was like he was superhuman. You can find clips on YouTube. I swear it looked like that man was jumping 15 feet in the air, and doing it with the greatest of ease and grace, and just landing so gracefully.
Right. So the French way was a little bit more dainty, and then when the Russians developed ballet, it was more like leaping and do these big dramatic kind of, oh, we are Russians, and I really like what they did with ballet, but I think there's a long cultural exchange between France and Russia.
Yeah, I was going to say Russian ballet seems to be a little more military, regimented, but married with art. But there's more of that regimentation there. But then I realize that's probably an ignorant statement to make, because any kind of ballet is regimented.
No, I think that I think that was a culture where they had a long history of the circus and physical strength. And I think that they brought that was how they contributed to ballet. And you can definitely see the difference between
and Baryshnikov also, he used to be able to do those great leaps also.
Yeah.
Just fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
Let's see. Linda Jackson said, I personally feel Melania did sleep with both of them. No surprise there. Michael Wolf says that the first time Melania and Donald had sex was on Jeffrey's plane, the Lolita Express. Mile High Club there.
Makes you wonder what previous first ladies would think of Melania.
Well, we'll get to that later in the show, because I have a message from one of the most famous first ladies of all time, but we should, I guess, work our way to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And she did have a little to say about Melania, by the way. Okay, JR. Do you recall during Ghislaine's trial, her lawyer said she was in communication with FBI and wasn't on the run, which makes sense why she was in the US versus France. I don't directly recall that. Do you, Whimsy?
Well, if you guys go back to the remote view that we did on Ghislaine Maxwell, right after he was arrested, she said, I'm the one that betrayed him. So she must have been working with the FBI. She had assured him in the FBI that he could turn himself in. And so I think he was shocked when he was arrested on his plane, and he felt degraded and hurt by it, because he had been assured he would be able to go and turn himself in, and it was going to be another sweetheart deal. And that didn't happen.
Tori said, Trump is so gross. Agree with you there. I don't know how any woman would want to get that close to him. I have to admit, I get the creeps. Like at the inaugural balls, when you'd see Trump and Melania dancing together, I was like, ugh. I mean, I'm sorry, but that was just how I felt. And I thought that's probably how she feels. There's a reason she's on the payroll, because, I mentioned this on a previous show. The press did find it was either a cancel check or as a pay stub or as a document. She was definitely paid to appear at the Republican convention last year. And I'm sure that's just one of many things she's been paid for.
Oh my goodness.
And I also tapped into her. And I was getting from my oracle cards, this is a tough woman. This is someone who takes care of herself. She knows how to take care of herself, but she's out to get whatever she can get.
Oh my goodness. I think we need to pray.
Yes, we do.
All right. Without further ado, I think we're going to do the Empath prayer. If you know the prayer, you can go ahead and say it with us. If you are someone who needs to receive a healing after listening to all that creepy stuff, go ahead and give us your name or the name of someone you love, and we will collectively pray for them as we bring in the Empath prayer. And then after that, I think Chuck and I will be giving you some remote views, and we will also be doing some blitzes. Does that work for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give us your names or the names of those who you want us to pray for, and we will happily include them in our prayers. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
And for those of you who are requesting a healing today, we pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. May all souls be healed. I feel better.
Yeah. That prayer is encoded with so much.
Yes.
It calms, it grounds, it soothes. I use a modified version of it whenever I do a reading for someone. Before we get on the phone, I always say the prayer.
Yeah, a lot of people are using it now.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, I had asked you
Yeah.
before we went on the show today if you could do a channeling,
Yeah.
and just anybody who you felt wanted to come and speak with us
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
And because we are living in uncertain times, and can you just tell us what happened, who you
Well,
communicated?
yeah. Well, first of all, anybody who saw the Tuesday show, I kind of let the cat out of the bag. This is a lot of stuff I normally don't talk about, spirit channeling and so forth. I've kept it private, personal. I've shared with you, Whimsy. You may recall the day I brought this book in, and I said, I've got all my writings here that I received from different spirit guides, channels, because I love celebrities. A lot of the old movie stars, they're magnetized to me. So a lot of them do come to me. It's nothing unique, because I mentioned Tuesday, we all have this ability, every single one of us. So I am very humble about this. And something that's very important to me is to never sensationalize one of these spirits that comes to me. That is never my intention. So I've always had reluctance about talking in a public forum like this. But anyway, to cut to the chase, it came out on Tuesday. We talked about this a lot and we had good response. So you wrote me last night and you said, would I channel a message from someone? And one of the reasons I don't do it live here is typically my technique is different. I have to get quiet, meditative, just usually sit with my journal, fountain pen, maybe a cup of tea, and just let things flow to me. So it's not conducive to just doing it on the spot here on the live show, like a Madame Cleo or something, or the Karnak. It's not my intention. But I thought last night, now who would want to come to me? Who would have a message? And usually when I speak with these guys, it's very private, it's personal. And so I keep that private and personal, just between us. But I said, this is a public message. Who wants to speak publicly here? And one of my guides is Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Now, no, everybody calls her Jackie. She even acknowledges that. But she once said to me, I love the name Jacqueline. I wish people called me that. And I said, I'll call you Jacqueline. I do that out of respect for her. But she came to me last night and she started channeling. And it was quite interesting to me because usually when she talks to me, it's personal. And I can tell you, before she started coming to me, I always thought of her as this aloof, elitist woman And she's anything but that. She's actually very warm. She's motherly. She's nurturing. And she said to me once, people thought I was aloof, but I was just shy. I was a very shy person, and people misunderstood that. But what was interesting, she talks to me privately, but when I said I want a public statement, she went into public mode, like she was going to give a speech, that kind of mode, very heartfelt, very centered. And I have a friend who also channels her. So I called my friend up today and I said, I want to read this to you. I just want to checks and balances here. How does this hit you? And she said, I've got goosebumps. That's her. And I said, I know it's her. I know this is Jacqueline speaking. And she does have a message for all of you. And one of the other things I want to say, I've been channeling her for 3 decades now. And she has never, ever once brought up John Kennedy. Ever. And I have never asked her because I figured that's what she wants to talk about. But when she went into public mode, it's like she knew what you guys want to hear, what you expect of her. So she even put it in a little reference to Jack, called him Jack, but which you'll hear in this. But I just want you to know that's the first time she's ever done that with me. Mm-hmm. But it's a very public message here. This is the journal I write in. I was going to write it just on a piece of paper. And she said, no, get your journal, get your good fountain pen and everything. She's like that. She said, tell your viewers to start learning, honing, and developing your own intuitive skills. It is the only way you will get your country back. Reclaim your birthright to democracy. It is sacred and it is essential. Each one of you is an integral piece, and each one of you is a unique expression of what must be said and done. Please, I implore each and every one of you to listen. And she made me underline the word listen. I implore each and every one of you to listen. Really listen to how you are being guided individually and collectively to take personal action. It is how you will reclaim your nation. Jack, meaning John Kennedy, Jack and I intimately love America, and we dedicated our lives to the cause of America. It will not die under our, and I think our, she meant all of us, not just her and her husband. It will not die under our vigilant watch. It will never perish as long as our love burns like a steady fire. Keep following your path. Listen to how you are being directed forward. Every single one of you, and she made me go back and write it in capital letters, every single one of you is a piece of the process. And then she referred, I think she was referring to Trump here. She said, he is a tyrant, but he is a weak tyrant. And we are so much stronger. And then she closed it with, a presented challenge is a form of resistance that builds up strength and character. And that's how she left it. That was her message to you. Now, I knew you guys were going to have some questions. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to just do a couple here. I asked her about Melania Trump redoing the Rose Garden. And this is where I got the private, Jacqueline. It was, oh, Chuck, do you think that's what I'm worried about? The garden was meant to be passed down to others to do whatever they want to do with. We have infinitely more important things to be addressing than a rose garden. That was her answer to me. And then the other thing I asked her, how do you feel about the Kennedy Center being renamed for Melania Trump? And this is where it was comical because their humor comes in. She just paused. Like that. I could just feel her. And she goes, just let him try. Just let him try. That's what she said to me. So that was my message from the wonderful Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis last night.
Wow.
Yeah. How does that feel? How does that feel to you guys? It felt authentic to me. It
Yes,
felt
very much.
authentic to my friend who channels her also, Whimsy. I just tried. I just go to a heartfelt place, and I'm very humble. I just start writing, and my process. I don't go in any trance or anything like that. I just sit quietly, and I just start putting the words down, one after the other, and they start forming sentences. And when I read all this back, there is a definite personality where I know it's that person, because in this notebook, I got Marilyn Monroe in here, James Dean, I've got Elizabeth Taylor in here, I've got Whitney Houston in here. Everyone has a distinct personality, and it jumps off the pages. And that's almost my checks and balance, that I'm not doing this. I'm not making this up. I'm receiving this.
What I liked about her message was
Yeah.
that she validated all of our lives and the
Yes, she
importance
did.
of our contribution
She's a
to this
beautiful
democracy.
soul.
Yeah.
She's a very gracious, beautiful soul. I have a feeling she was a queen in another lifetime. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, yeah, she had to wear those crowns, just like
Yeah.
my little crown today.
But
This
I
is
just-
kind of an ode to Jackie O. It's
Yeah, but I
kind of
mean,
like a box
your
hat.
little pillbox hat. But I
Yeah.
just mean that Jacqueline had she had an innate regal quality about her. It was like she didn't even try for it. It was just there in her soul. And when I get her, she's extremely down to earth. She's very humble, and she's very motherly to me. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Whimsy, what you were saying. I'm so sorry. That's a problem. We get over enthused here. Jackie, that hooker did what to the rose garden? I was almost expecting a response like that, actually. But no, Jackie was saying to me, please, we have far more important things to be dealing with than a damn rose garden. That was almost her attitude. But I liked how she said, I meant for that rose garden to be passed down to others, for them to do what they want to do with. So to her, it's not a big deal. I think it's more of a big deal changing the name.
What she's saying is it's not her rose garden.
Yeah, she passed it on.
She had it for a time, and that's what she did with it.
That's
and
exactly
then it moved on to the next first lady.
Yeah, I think she was more intrigued about, you're going to change the name of the Kennedy Center, because the Kennedy Center was always, from its inception, meant to be a monument to John F. Kennedy. That's what it was always meant to be. Trump wants to change it to the Melania Trump Opera House or something like that. I got the feeling from her that ain't happening on her watch. Kelly said, I have loved Jackie for so long. I did a report on her live when I was in on her life when I was in high school. I have come to really admire her. The way she came to me the first time, it was about a year after her death, because I was not seeking her. This is what surprised me. She came to me in a dream. Remember the last show I told that dream about James Dean in the hometown? She came to me in a dream. It was one of those dreams that was very realistic, where you really know you're with that person. And it was in New York, and she invited me up to her Fifth Avenue home, and we just sat there. I guess we were drinking tea or whatever. And we just started talking and talking, kind of like you and I are. We just started talking and talking and talking, and we just got along so great. And I fell in love with her. And it was so much so that I woke up from the dream. I was like, I want to go back to sleep. I want to go back. No, I don't want it to end. But she said to me, I'm guiding over you. I'm always watching over you.
What did she say?
She said, I watch over you. I guide you. But then many of these spirits do. They guide us. And I want to emphasize once again, this is not some exclusive thing. All of you out there have the ability to do this. All of you. And I think that was part of Jacqueline's message to you. You all have the power. And she was saying, please, you've got to really work on your intuitive abilities, really listen to your individual guidance, because each one of you is a piece of solving this mess, this puzzle. And she was also reminding, he's a tyrant, but he's a weak tyrant. We together are much stronger. That's what I got from that.
I feel like he's falling, because I did a remote last night on Trump, and in the remote with Trump, I felt increasingly paranoid and weak. I
Yeah.
felt like I was getting physically weaker and weaker and weaker, and I was becoming increasingly paranoid that I didn't know who I could trust amongst the minions, that
Oh,
everybody was turning on me, even the people that I thought that I could trust. Like now the newspapers are turning, now Fox is turning on him.
yeah. It's reminding me so much of the final days of Nixon's presidency.
Yes.
Because Nixon, if you've read any of his biographies, he was a deeply paranoid man. So this was just, his whole world was collapsing on him. And this was like a fraction of what is happening now with Trump. We've joked about this. Nixon looks like a choir boy next to Trump. Watergate almost seems quaint in comparison to all of these horrific scandals right now.
I feel like something is going to happen that is going to scrub America clean. I think that the entire world, just like Germany got their act together after World War II, I think America is going to get its act together after Donald Trump, and it is going to force us to do a complete overhaul. And
we're being forced. Yeah,
I know that there are a lot of good people that are going to be running for the Senate, for presidency. And I just feel that America is going to survive and we're going to come out of this.
I think we are too. We are too. But I love how we have actually said this before, but Jacqueline was saying each one of us has a piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Each one of us has a piece of the answer. Collectively, we are so strong and we're going to do this. Like someone here was just saying, I lost the comment here, but it was something to the effect, how does America uproot hate and racism? That's a very complex question there. Just as the answers are very complex, and it may just be many of us individually coming up with answers and putting them together. But anyway, Kimberly here said, well, on the other side, you ain't worried about people liking you. You offer what people need to hear. Well, thank you. I just try to be authentic. I know you try to be authentic, Whimsy. JR, there have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. And that was a quote from Gandhi. History does seem to definitely bear that out. Raymond, by the way, I knew a Raymond D. Pasquale when I was in college, in art school, but I don't think you're the same one. I'm looking at your picture there. There is but one thing of real value: to cultivate truth and justice, and to live without anger in the midst of lying and unjust men. And that's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. I hope I said that right. Yeah. Chris Cool, my sister met her in an airport in Boston. I'm assuming you're talking about our beloved Jacqueline. Met her in an airport in Boston awaiting a jumper to Martha's Vineyard. Jacqueline saw my sister was nervous and came over to alleviate her fears about the little plane she was waiting for. That is so her. That is the Jacqueline I know. With me, she's very motherly. She's nurturing, gentle. My friend I was talking about who channels her, she comes to her and gives her decorating advice, clothing advice and things. And Jacqueline said, well, it's our friend Onassis. I don't think she'd mind me saying this. You know her. And she said, Jacqueline said, honey, paint this wall this color. You're going to love it. It's going to change the personality of your room. And my friend said, oh, I can't do that. And she said, please trust me on this. My friend went to the paint store, painted it that color. And she said, oh my God, Jacqueline was right. And I said, well, of course, she has beautiful taste. But that story about calling her nurse to the plane.
What color was it that she picked?
As I recall, it was a teal blue, a beautiful teal blue, which was very calming and soothing, which was what she needed. Wendy Bird, what about the $200 million ballroom that Trump is adding to the White House in September? I just heard about that today.
So that was part of the big, beautiful bill.
Was that part of the big, beautiful bill?
How do you guys feel about $200 million of your hard-earned money going for a freaking ballroom for the aristocrat?
That was a little slip there,
What
Whimsy.
did I say? Ballroom? Ballroom?
We know what you meant. I'm being a little crude here, but I was this afternoon. I'm a big fan of Heather Cox Richardson, and I was watching her live stream today, and she was talking about this. And she said Trump is acting very much like a man who does not intend to leave the White House. Like he's got this in his head. He's going to be there forever. And that's why he's trying to turn the White House into Mar-a-Lago, putting in a ballroom and all these accoutrements and things. And she was pointing out how absurd that is. He's 79. His health is failing. He's losing his mind. But she addressed that today.
Well, let's go ahead and see if it's going to get built. Yes or no? Is it going to get built?
Is it going to get built? Let me get out the old pendulum here. I think that's a good yes.
I'm so angry about this.
Well, they're cutting Medicare, SNAP benefits, taking food out of. How do I say it? Is this ballroom going to get built? Is this ballroom going to get built? I'm getting a no, at least not in the foreseeable future. Wait, okay. When I said in the foreseeable future, the pendulum did start going toward yes, like it could still happen, but I don't see it happening right now. What are you getting, Whimsy?
I think that, the days of opulence are coming to an end, and we need somebody like Lincoln. We need a guy who comes from a poor, humble family that's going to come and who knows how to sit with the people and eat rice and beans and get back to what's real and what's important. It's interesting. Time is running out for the president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is interesting. It's the fish. It has an ethical aspect, but it's also about highways, transfers.
What else, if I may say, fish also start to smell bad. They start to stink. I'm sorry.
The whip is coming for the president.
Ooh, he might like that.
And then we have two roads, which I think is rather interesting. One goes to the dark and one goes to the light. Really what they're saying is it's up to us.
Yeah, that's what Jacqueline was saying. It's up to us. We, the people, have the power here. Mm-hmm. We, the people, collectively. But when you saw the two roads, did you see a little more of that? Like how that pertains to Trump's future?
I think we, the American people, have to remember who we are. And I think we went down the wrong road with Reagan and this opulence and gold. And everybody had a BMW and everybody, and everybody was all the cocaine and everything else. And I missed all that because I was on a mountain in Jerusalem studying the Torah. But it was just this very vacant world of drugs and excess and everybody wanting wealth and a disposable income. And, it was the yuppies.
Yeah, the 80s.
Which I guess is the generation of Generation X.
Well,
so the boomers and X are responsible.
I know that term was thrown out a lot in the 80s. Remember the TV show 30-something?
I love that show.
Yeah, I did too. But that usually applies to people of that age range. Of course, now they'd be senior citizens. But at that time in the 80s, these opulent, young, uprising people, yuppies, that's where that came up. But also the 80s, that was the era of Dynasty and Dallas and Alexis Carrington and all that. I think a lot of people vicariously.
We all wanted to be aristocrats.
Wanted that, yes.
And it created a very superficial, greedy country. And it was no longer the nation of, World War II veterans. The greatest nation was dying out. And the kids of the children of the greatest generation were a bunch of spoiled brats, I think, in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy came back from the war and, or from, being a refugee or whatever.
The baby boomers. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got to have everything they wanted. And there was a disconnect.
Well,
there was a real disconnect.
I can relate to that. We're both of the baby boomer generation.
I'm kind of that and Generation X. I'm kind of at that cut.
Well, I'm still in the baby boomer era. And my father came back from World War II. My father came from a very humble beginning. He grew up on a farm with no electricity. They had to use an outhouse until about the late 1930s. They didn't have indoor plumbing, electricity, anything like that. Very humble. And my father had to work hard And then when my sister and I came along, we had it relatively easy. We grew up in this nice house and everything was provided for us and so forth. I tend to agree with that. We didn't really have the perspective of what it was to truly struggle and to have to build from scratch.
See, I grew up like Little Women. I mean,
I know you did.
We didn't have. I mean, we had firewood to keep us warm, and we had a wood burning stove, and we froze in the winter, and so, and I really miss it. I miss that, working with your hands, and
yeah. Well, that was ingrained into you,
Yeah.
and it's had a lot to do with shaping your values because, anybody who knows you knows how humble you are.
You think
you are. I think you are. And I think a lot of people
I get accused of being arrogant all the time.
Oh, no, I know you too well. I'm just going to say this out loud. You're a brilliant, intelligent, well-educated woman, but you're humble and you're accessible. And that's one of your great gifts.
Thank you.
Well, it's just the truth. I'm not yes, and I'm telling you the truth. It's just the truth. But Kimberly here said, when it happened, I think you're referring to the Rose Garden, I thought Melania was disrespectful. Now, after Chuck, I'm left with make my statement or jealousy. Found a new perspective to look at things. Well, I have to say I was even surprised a little last night because, I always clear my head. I never know what anyone's going to say to me. I just stay open and start writing it down. I was expecting maybe a little more outrage, but I think sometimes we project our own beliefs onto them, like this is what we want them to say. And Jacqueline was basically saying to me, it was Melania's to do whatever she wanted to. It's any first lady. It was meant to be passed through the generations. And I'll say it again. She just said, we have more important things to be talking about than a rose garden.
Yeah, they made the fish witch too small. That's true. They cut the size, to save money. And they changed the fish from cod to polk to make it cheaper.
Well, those bastards. Oh my God. I remember working at a Burger King that summer. The manager used to make us pick up food off the floor that we had dropped and still serve it.
Are you serious?
Oh, I know all the dirty secrets. Anybody who's worked in a fast food restaurant knows the dirty secrets.
Oh my God.
You don't want to eat in those places. Trust me. JR, how will GM's relatives, Ghislaine Maxwell's relatives treat her when she's released? It seems they want her free, but during family gatherings, will they allow her around the children or women?
Let's take a look.
Well,
let's see if she's going to be freed and where she's going to go.
Actually, I just realized we need to ask that question first. Is she going to be freed? Don't we? Before we
I think she is. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Ghislaine Maxwell's cards to see if she's going to be free.
Is she going to be freed?
If you could like, share, and subscribe, Chuck and I are almost at 100,000 members or subscribers.
Thank you.
It's exciting, isn't it, Chuck?
It is exciting, but we're both very grateful.
Yeah, very grateful.
Oh my. I'm going to ask this both. Is Jacqueline Maxwell going to be freed from prison? Jacqueline Maxwell going to be freed from prison soon? Shit. Jacqueline Maxwell going to be freed from prison. I'm getting a yes, she is going to eventually be freed. That's why you heard me go, I don't want that woman being freed.
Well,
but that's the answer I got. But I was like,
transportation. It can be trade, right?
Yeah.
The sun is coming out for her. Look at these cards. Look at her. She flies over the rainbow. I'm out of here. Bye.
Whoa.
And look at this. The mice steals. So theft. I think she's got money. I think she knows where the money in France is. I think she took a little money for herself. I think she's got money and she's hiding it.
Oh, I think so. I think that's a given. Because I was initially getting cards here like physical body deprivation, discontent. Physical body meaning her in jail, obvious discontent, deprivation, boredom around this. But I also get she's got a lot of truth, meaning she has answers. She has a lot of dirt. She's got a lot to say. A lot of people are afraid of her, and that could be part of the bargain, how she's going to get out. Because this came up, new life, but it wasn't conclusive. I went to the pendulum. You heard me go, shit, because I don't like this woman. I don't want her out of jail. But the pendulum.
Okay, how will her family? The next part of the question is, how will she be greeted by her family? Will they just be in denial about it? Like, what will the family respond?
Well, let me see here. How's the family gonna? Oh. I'm getting that her family is kind of denial, looking the other way, like kind of looking other way and like, oh, let's help you with a new beginning, a new start on life. You make mistakes. But I'm getting they're definitely looking the other way. What are you getting, Whimsy?
I get the same thing. This is Ghislaine. She
Really?
sits by the window and waits. She writes letters to them. She sees herself as a victim of Epstein. Like, I've been framed over the rainbow. She gets over the bridge. Look at this. Her family has the loyalty of the dog. This is our family, and this is our sister, and this is and you don't know. And we're sticking by our sister.
Yeah.
Look at this family genealogy, the family tree. So it's all about the loyalty of the family tree. And then hearth and home. She's back to hearth and home. So they just want their sister, and they think it's a scam. It's a shame. And I don't know. How do you feel about that when you see that?
Icky, yucky, icky. I've said how I feel. I don't think that woman should be let out of jail. I think she's despicable. But I'm getting she is going to get out of jail in all likelihood. She will go back to her family, and they're just going to welcome her with open arms and go on with life.
Sick. It's sick.
Yeah, it is sick. It's twisted. It's yucky. I was even having trouble with this Tuesday because this is such repugnant energy for me personally. I've said to you, I think that's one of the lowest things you can ever do. When you're scarring a child like that. Yeah.
Right.
But let's see, Sugar Baby's mama, is that a donation? $19.99.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We always appreciate the donations.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Thank you.
So people are asking about Diddy, and I think that's kind of interesting because now he's talking about Diddy, and
pardoning him.
Right. So does Diddy even like Trump? I mean, that's the other
thing. According to Trump, he always seemed to like me. I think he actually said that when a reporter said, would you consider pardoning Diddy? And, Trump gives his stock answer. Well, I've never really thought about that. Yeah, right. But he goes, well, he always seemed to like me. I mentioned this the other day about pardons. Trump hands out pardons like toilet paper, but it's always when it's to his advantage, something that appeals to his core base. Because Trump is always about himself, first and foremost. So I don't know if this would appeal. I said the other day, I'm concerned that if he pardoned Ghislaine, that's going to just further call attention to his own guilt with the Epstein files. But P. Diddy, that could probably be turned around to be a distraction, which he's doing a lot of right now.
Well, Wolf said that it was a shot across the bow, in plainer words, that it came from Ghislaine, and she's the one that has evidence on Trump. So there's more where that came from. And I think that's Yeah, so that's
I'm
it.
sure she's letting them know too. She's definitely. Raymond said, Web Shiva, if he pardons Diddy, then mom came through with the dollars. Yeah, there's something in it for Trump. Trump isn't going to do this out of. I'm even reluctant to say this, the goodness of his heart, because there is no goodness in his heart. I don't even know if the man has a heart. Well, he does physically have a heart.
So wait a minute. So do you think that Diddy has something on Trump also?
Well, with all of the sex trafficking and so forth he was accused of. Now, I know he was acquitted of a lot of that, but you and I were getting that a lot of it was actually going on. I know he was acquitted of all but 2 charges, and I forget what the 2 charges were, but it certainly would not surprise me that a power player like Diddy would have stuff on Trump. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know conclusively. Tori said, got to pardon all those felons. Maybe he will add Diddy to the FBI.
Let's go ahead and check and see if Trump is going to pardon Diddy and any information we can get on Diddy.
Okay, I'm just going to start with a yes or no.
I feel sick.
I know.
They're all pedophiles and rapists and golden juice people. They're all evil. They're a bunch of crazy aristocrats.
Evil. And I told you, I've met Diddy several times, and I'm almost disgusted that I was.
I never got. I mean, like, he just seemed like a nice guy. We don't know.
At the time, but I mean, now I think, oh my God, I stood 12 inches from this man.
All the time we did.
Yeah, but
he came in every day and got his
in the store.
And
other than he once refused a selfie. He once refused someone a selfie. I saw that, but he
was never rude. He seemed like he was polite.
Well, he was polite to the person. Somebody wanted to do a selfie, and he said no, but please accept. He said, please let me explain why. I just got back from the gym. I'm sweaty. I'm grungy, and I cannot afford to have a bad picture of myself get out on the internet. That's how he explained it. So at least he was polite to the person.
Right.
That's my main memory of him. But anyway, is Trump going to pardon Diddy? Is Trump going to pardon P. Diddy? Is Trump going to issue a pardon to P. Diddy? Will he do it in the future? I'm getting a no right now, but let me see. Sense here. Well, I'm getting kind of going back to what we were saying. If there's something in it for Trump, or Trump's covering his ass, in case P. Diddy does have something on him, because I'm getting that P. Diddy has a purpose, like he's walking down an arrow, he's walking down a road. There's something very deliberate about him. He's smart. Trump knows that, but I asked the pendulum, I got a no when I said, is Trump going to pardon him? Maybe I'm getting, I don't know. What are you getting, Whimsy?
I almost feel energetically like Trump will be gone before he has an opportunity to be pardoned.
That's a good point. Maybe that's why I'm getting a no.
Trump's health is collapsing. When you have the kind of medical problems he has, your doctors often say, don't fly. He can't be flying all over the place. I really don't believe, even if he was the nicest guy in the world, he's in a position to hold the presidency because his health is falling apart.
That's a point. Because I thought, why is the pendulum saying no? Because my heart almost would say, yes, he would do this. But what you said makes perfect sense. He won't get to. But it's also ironic. Here he is being gifted this, $400 million plane. And I just saw in the news the other day, they said it's going to cost close to $1 billion to have that plane cleared, for security and everything to be used as Air Force One. And here's Trump too sick to even use the thing in the first place.
Yeah, gossip. This is a gossip card. The White House, there was a letter of appeal or request for pardon, and Diddy is requesting loyalty. So that means Diddy's got dirt on him.
I believe that. That's what I was getting when I got that card.
But I don't think
he's got purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that he's going to be gone. But something tells me he's only got 4 or 5 months left.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure if it was. Oh, thank you, Catherine. That's sweet.
Ladies like you, Chuck.
But I was getting either Trump's getting something out of this or Trump's covering his ass. Like, Diddy's got some dirt, bit dirt. But yeah, Buzz, is it just me or does everyone sing backwards and upside down?
No, that's
No?
exactly what's happening.
Dennis Tucker, quote unquote, spoiled brats. We know who the recipients of the spoiling were. At the same time, who were the dispensers of the spoils.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, who are these people that are in the Pentagon, in the FBI, in the CIA? Who put these people in power? And it seems to me like they're running the show and they're hiding information that we, the American people, have a right to, like the fact that he got immunity. He freaking got immunity in 2005, along with all the other creeps that were part of the Epstein debacle. And that's what he's of course he's on the list. He's one of the main people. They were best of buddies. Of course he's on the list. Of course he made an agreement with the feds.
Well, that's why we see Trump in panic mode right now. I mean, he's just throwing out every distraction he can. He's pulling out his greatest hits of distraction right now. Obama is conspiracy. Hillary, Beyonce. Let's put sugar in Coke, cane sugar in Coke. Let's take away Rosie's citizenship. He's just doing anything to distract. He's becoming more and more of a parody of his own self. Raymond said. Ghislaine supposedly had a license to captain a submarine. I didn't know that. And people have speculated that is how many girls and others were brought to and from the island without detection. I've never heard that, but
private submarines, that's a crazy concept. I think those things are terrifying.
Yeah, but
she started some sea organization too for young people.
Oh, did she?
So they were going to go along the seas. It's like, what the hell is that about?
Certainly not the Love Boat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to ever make jokes about this. I'm sorry, but
sick.
It's sick. It's disgusting. It's immoral. Rebecca said Melania pales in comparison to the class and elegance of Jackie. No comparison. No wonder Jackie can wave off a rose garden. Dignity. Yeah, I totally agree. Jackie, class, just quintessential class. I always get that from her. But I always get that from her wisdom, her advice to me, her advice to my friend. Yeah. Viviana, as for renaming the Kennedy Center, the center's founding legislation prohibits, I knew that, legislation prohibits renaming facilities after memorials or plaques after 1983. So I don't foresee the center being renamed after Trump. Oh, Jackie doesn't either. She was just like, just let him try. Just let him try. That's how she left it last night. But I think what concerns me a bit is the way Trump keeps getting around these laws. He keeps breaking the laws and nobody stops him. Supreme Court just keeps giving him more power. The Republicans in the House and Senate just keep rubber stamping everything, giving him a blank check to do what he wants. But I certainly hope he can't get away with this. It's bad enough that he took over the Kennedy Center. I read that their subscriptions fell off by something like, I could be wrong on this figure, but something like 70%. People are boycotting the Kennedy Center right now. I've been there a couple of times. Were you ever there, Whimsy?
No, I haven't.
I saw Katharine Hepburn on stage there once. Yeah. Anyway, Chris Cole said, heard she had a helicopter license too. I think somewhere I did read that. Wow. She's a brilliant woman. I mean, quite accomplished. But
last question. Go ahead.
Chuck. Okay, Caroline. Changing the subject. Was anyone surprised Kamala announced she was not running for governor? Can you draw a few cards on what she's up to in her future? Well, I got to tell you, being a Californian, I was personally, for selfish reasons, disappointed when that news broke. I'm a big, big admirer of Kamala Harris.
Maybe she's keeping herself open to be the new AG.
Well, I'm wondering that. And by the way, she's going to be on Stephen Colbert tonight. I just found that out before the show. Anybody's interested. So what is happening with her?
I think if a
Oh, I'm getting good cards here.
if a Democrat gets in, they're going to make her the AG, and maybe she was told by the Democrats, hold off because
Yeah,
we have a really good chance in 2028, and you're the first pick for AG
yeah,
or Supreme Court. In which case, I think she should hold that.
yeah.
For that reason, she's going to give it to what's her name? Who's running?
For governor, California.
Yeah.
And I know her name, and I'm ashamed to say I'm blanking on her name right now.
Who's running?
I'm trying to think right now. Kamala would have been the front runner, that's for sure.
Yeah, but she's giving it to the other woman.
I'm having a brain fart right here, so
It's
maybe
the former
somebody can tell me.
Congressperson. Yes.
Katie Porter.
Katie Porter.
Katie
Yes.
Porter.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So she's probably giving it to Katie Porter, and she's probably holding off so that she can be. And let me tell you, when she becomes the new AG, oh my God.
Oh my God, people are going to be scared. But well, of course, she was originally the Attorney General in San Francisco. She was our state Attorney General before she became our state senator.
I'm telling you, she'll be AG.
Brilliant.
Which is what she wants.
She is brilliant.
Presidency.
I've been a fan of hers since she first ran for the Senate. And I watched the debates, and I was watching it on local television here in Los Angeles before most of the nation even knew who she was. I had goosebumps, and I said, that woman is going to be a superstar in the Democratic Party on a national level. I just could feel it.
I think she's going to be AG.
Well, I just let cards come out.
Her destiny.
Well, okay, I agree with you, because I'll just tell you quickly, and because I have
to go, I have a patient.
Yeah, you do. I'll tell you real quick. She's a woman of great ingenuity, imagination. She's a life force, new beginnings. So anyway, Whimsy, I don't want to interrupt you what you were saying, and you have to go.
No, I got the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I think that she will be asked to be AG. I've always felt that.
Oh my God, that would be wonderful. You're right. She's smart.
Keep her there for 20 years.
Yeah.
She got a lot of cleaning up to do.
And she's been working on her book. She has a book coming out in September about her campaign. And I remember one of your readings a few months ago. She just wanted some time to work in her garden, be with her children, her family. After all she's been through, take a few months, chill out, work on her book, work on the family. I think she's been regrouping, recharging, re-energizing.
I see her being AG.
Yeah.
And she never wants to be, she also says in the remotes, she never wants to be VP again, so please don't ask her. Like if Buttigieg says, want to be VP again? You cannot, no, that is not the job for her.
Well, you said that once before also, that she was very unhappy as VP.
That wasn't what she was meant to do.
No. So what was it? It was some vice president, I think it was in the 1800s, who said, this job isn't worth a warm bucket of spit.
That's right.
I forget which vice president said that. Yeah.
Well, did you have fun today?
I always have fun. I love being here.
How can people reach you if they want to have
they want to reach me, and a lot of people have been reaching me right now. Thank you. It is my name, Chuck Dransfield. It's just one word, dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. Fire me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. I love.
And he is also a naturopathic physician's assistant, so he can also do assistance in that area. Yeah. And I am available through Booksy. The information is below this channel if you'd like to have an appointment with me. That is all we have for you today.
Is that all we have?
Because I got to go to work.
You got to go. You have a 6:30 appointment. Yeah. It's 6:20.
Yeah, it was awesome as usual, Chuck. Great job. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.